What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and this one I want to break down something with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down some things that Jerome Powell said that are very important for the economy, and also why the market's kind of moving the way it is. But before I break down those information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a few things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention level 2 data with $0 in commission trading. The offer ends in 3 weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the markets. Looking at SPY on the 30 minutes time frame, we're actually looking a little bit more bullish as we're starting to see some buyers kind of stepping in as of right now. But for the most part, despite us trying to turn a little bit more bullish, we're not really seeing a massive breakout because the market is still stuck within these ranges. So the question is, why is that happening? I want to give you guys an answer. The answer is because Jerome Powell is refusing to say anything too significant. He's being very careful with his words, and he actually gave us very important quotes that kind of summarize what I mean by that. So Powell has said that holding rates high for too long could jeopardize economic growth, but also cutting too early is going to be very, very bad as well. As of right now, there's not really a whole lot else that's going on. Jerome Powell has mentioned that elevated inflation is not the only risk that we face, and the Fed has a lot of work that they're going to be kind of like looking at. He also mentioned that a policy rate cut is not appropriate until the Fed gains further confidence that inflation is actually hitting their 2% target. So, once again, guys, just the same old things Powell's been saying again and again and again. He also mentioned that the long-term target remains at 2%, and then cutting early once again is just going to hinder progress. And he had one very important quote I want to read to you guys. This is what Jerome Powell said. He said, "I am not sending any signals today about the timing of future Fed policy actions." The reason why this is important is because Powell just made it very clear that he's just stepping back. He doesn't want to say anything too significant about future policy. He's being very careful with his words, and he's trying to be very, very contained today compared to like other days. We also had U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen come out. She basically said that inflation will continue to come down over time, and she's very, very optimistic. So once again, the market's still holding up amidst that. But Powell didn't really say much. He's being very, very careful. He didn't say anything about a recession or anything like that. He's just very careful with his words, no matter how much Congress tried to just kind of hammer at him. We saw all these politicians just trying to ask him questions, question his policies. Powell did not budge. He just continued to say the same things, and he was very, very careful. So there's nothing we could have really done about that. Now, if Jerome Powell said something very significant, SPY could have exploded much quicker. If he said something very, very significant that's more restrictive, we could have seen a big rug pull. He didn't say much. It's just the same old things again. That's why the market is very, very choppy. It's trying to push a little bit. I think because the overall testimony just ended, so that's the reason why the market's trying to push again. I also want to note that U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said that the labor market is no longer driving inflation in the U.S. economy to the extent it was earlier during the pandemic recovery period. So that's something else that's worth noting. I personally also want to note that I don't fully trust everything that's being said by these people, but at the end of the day, we just have to take it into account when kind of looking at the way things are going. So, what do I see for SPY on the 4-hour and also the 30 minutes time frame? We are on an uptrend. SPY is making higher highs and higher lows, and we're trying to actually break out to the upside right over here. You can see we have this 557 resistance. If we break this, I'll be looking at 557.5, then eventually 559 if we break through that. We are looking more bullish, like it slowly wants to just push higher. We've been stuck between 557 and 556 all day, so we'll see which way we break. But as of right now, it's looking like it's favoring the bulls a little bit more. If we lose 556, and we end up, not just that, but also if we lose this EMA right here, this 555.3 level, then I could be favoring downside. If we break past the all-time high, we're obviously favoring upside. Right now, we're closer to the all-time high, so we are favoring upside a little bit more. So we'll see if this ends up continuing to be the case. Tesla's breaking out right now. It's actually making a very, very nice move. We're going to be looking at this 264 resistance to 265. That's making a very, very nice move. We look bullish on Tesla. If 265 breaks, we're going to go even higher. So we are looking very bullish on Tesla. We favor upside for 265 plus, if not 267. Nvidia is kind of dipping a bit. We pumped all the way up to about 135, 134, only to come back down towards 130. And we might just consolidate for a bit. So we'll see if we get a bounce or not. I'm going to be very patient with this, but I'll be waiting to see what ends up happening. Bitcoin is seeing a nice accumulation right over here, nice double bottom. We called this out on Bitcoin. I want to see it break 58,000 to turn bullish. Otherwise, we're just kind of choppy. So watch and see if we get that break. The QQQ was a little bit lackluster, dipping back down to 498 only to start to rebound. So now it's building some strength again, building a nice base. I want to see it try to get back to about 500 breakthrough. That's to turn bullish. If we fail to break 500, we could establish a lower high then reject. So look for a little push right here. Do we establish a lower high around 499 and reject, or do we just break through that and just continue to soar? I'll be watching to see if that ends up being the case or not. So be very, very patient. For Apple, we're just kind of choppy right now. We're trading sideways at 228. If we were to break out higher, I'll be looking at like 230 as a target. If we reject, we'll be looking for a break below 227. We're just completely stuck, so we'll have to give this some time. But Apple is still on a nice uptrend. It's still holding up very, very well. For Supermicro, we're also holding up. We have this 920 resistance. We also have support at 907. If that fails us, we're going to be coming down to 895. We're kind of turning on the 4 hours, so there could be some consolidation here, an attempt to go higher. So I'll be giving this some time just to see how things progress. Coinbase is also trying to push higher. I am seeing some life in this. We have this imbalance to fill. Buzz just notes that we have this trend line to be watching for. If we break through this trend line, we're going to turn back to bullish, and we'll be looking for 230 plus. If you reject here, we'll be coming back down, but there is life that's developing here, and we're trying to push higher. So I'll see if that ends up being the case. Amazon's testing 200. If we break this, 202 is coming. If we fail, we're just going to consolidate. As of right now, we're just consolidating. So we'll see if we break 200 or not. For Meta, we're looking at a nice push so far. We have a nice little range right over here. So we got to try to break past 535. I think that there's a chance that this could push a little bit higher. So we're still holding it very, very well on Meta. So give this some time, but it is showing some life. Microsoft is going to be dipping down to 460 most likely. So I'll have to see if we bounce off that or not. But look for a little bit more downside. I see it dipping a bit more. Google is also dipping a bit. I'll be looking for 190.8. There's a good chance it dips a little bit more towards that target, and we'll see if we bounce or not off 190. If we fail to bounce, I'm going to be looking for 188. And if we do bounce, we'll be looking for a rebound. Otherwise, it's looking a little bit more bearish to me. Unfortunately, GameStop's not really doing much. It's just completely stuck in this range at 24. Not much is going on, but AMC is trying to rebound a bit. We're going to be looking for 5.5 plus. I'm seeing some life in it, so I'm going to hope that this tries to rebound, tries to get back above 5.5. Otherwise, we're just kind of stuck within the chop zone that we were in. One more thing about the VIX. The VIX is still kind of trading sideways in this range, not really doing much. So it's not really giving us much information as the market is getting bought back up. So just to be frank, right now the market is favoring upsides, favoring buyers just a little bit more. We'll see if we break all-time highs again, continue to soar. But as of right now, the buyers have a bit of an edge after Jerome Powell completed his little testimony. Unfortunately, excuse me, he didn't say anything too crazy. He was very careful with his words. He intentionally said that because he doesn't want to cause too much like confusion, too much chaos. He's being very careful. Had he said something very crazy, it would have caused a crazy, crazy big move in the markets. That's why it's always important to watch and pay attention to what he could say and to be prepared just to be safe. But in this case, he was careful, so he didn't say much. So the market gets away with it this time, and we're just going to see how we go from here. But just know buyers have the edge. So that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys very soon in just a few hours. Thanks again, and peace out.